I remember for a month looking at every little clip and tidbit that came out on this film and thinking, ugh. I mean, that was my reaction to a lot of it. Like, oh, what am I looking at? The first picture that we ever got of Superman was him sitting in a chair inside an apartment building with a glass window behind him, putting his shoes on.
Yeah, we didn't even get that in the movie.
And I remember thinking to myself, why the hell is this the first image that DC has chosen to put forward? Mm-hmm. And this is kind of one of those things where I think David Zaslav probably needed to step in a little bit harder with James Gunn and go, we're not going to do silly trolling stuff. No, go straight at the audience and give them the first thing should be, holy crap, it's Superman, right? The picture of him, right? He's back, but we kept kind of getting these weird things, and then we got the clips of, the first teaser we got was him lying half dead in the snow, which is how the movie opens. But him lying half dead in the snow, and the Crypto, the little white fluffy dog, runs up. I mean, it's jarringly different than any version of Superman we've been handed before. But the problem is that that's the first taste the audience has got of what this is, and I think a lot of them, like me, looked at it and went, what?
I know. I was at CinemaCon, and there's hey, we're going to show you a special clip from Superman, and that was what we got. We got him crashing and then going into the Fortress of Solitude, and then getting healed. That's kind of the segment that we got, and I'm sitting there. This is what you're showing us. This is what you show us as you're showing theater owners. This is the movie they have to look forward to.
Alan, when they showed you that, did it come with the text? Did you realize that was the beginning of the movie? Okay, so you didn't.
No, but we got a long discussion with James Gunn about how Crypto is like his dog.
Yeah, it's very obvious in this movie that James Gunn is an animal fan, and I'm a fan of animals, but he really, really loves animals. So I've thought about this, and perhaps one of the reasons that it is having a divisive response is that it could have handled a montage at the beginning that lets you see, little Superman growing up, introduce you to the Kents, let you see a victory or two real quick. It doesn't have to take long. Having an intro with the sentences, and it's clever in some ways, but it drops you straight into a defeated Superman, and that alters the tone, I think. What's fascinating to me, and I wonder what both of you think about this, I had thought that the domestic would either be great or terrible. And that's not true. The domestic response so far has been somewhere in the middle. So it's not down below 100, where the worst predictions were. It's not eclipsing 140, which is where they thought it might go after the Thursday preview totals came in. Yet it's the international numbers that really are struggling. And people don't realize how bad the internationals are until you realize that this had like 5 days that were being counted in the internationals. So the fact that 78 markets over something like 5 or 6 days still were dragging behind the domestic totals. I mean, why do you guys think that the international markets did not come through like they do for a Marvel film?
Well, I mean, to be fair, the Man of Steel did poorly internationally.
So why is that?
Because Truth, Justice, and the American Way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. No,
which we didn't even get in this one.
No, we didn't. But I don't remember the human way in this movie either.
No.
Well, I mean, let me. This is what I said on Friday, but the whole point of Superman. To me, what I loved about Superman was he was good. He was good. He was kind. Yeah. He had values and virtues that he followed to a T. The fact that he would give himself up for the sake of saving the dog says a lot about Superman's character. And the fact that the whole parentage thing, the fact that everything that Superman was because of his Midwestern upbringing, and to me that's the American way. And the fact that they didn't lean into it the fact that no one said it, that no, there's this thing going on in the world where you're ashamed to be an American. I think Superman would have felt exactly the opposite, that he was proud of being an American. And they didn't. That would have been, I think, I think that would have at least added 2 more million to the box office total. And then to Pro's comment, opening the way the movie opened has nothing to do with the box office, because your goal opening weekend is to get people in the theater to buy the ticket and get in, and they have never seen it. Everything that happens once you get into the theater and into your seat says what's going to happen next week. But I don't think they, again, the marketing has just been horrible on this movie. Yeah, and less is more, and they should have showed a whole lot less.
Yeah, I think Gunn was too concerned about trying to show people that this isn't the Superman you've seen before. But I think where they missed the mark was people wanted to see Superman like we've seen him before, especially like Christopher Reeve style and all this kind of thing. And he tried to lean into something completely different. Like we're gonna lean into this lighthearted, kind of almost goofy version
the DC
of it.
universe. That's what you're
right. Yeah, and I think that was a big part of the problem was, as most people I think correctly pointed out, this movie was far too overstuffed with too many other characters. If they had not called it Superman, if they had called this Justice League Origins, or if they'd called this Superman and the Justice League or the Justice Gang, it might have played a little bit differently. But when you tell people for 3 years now that the first thing coming out of the gate is going to be Superman, and this is what you're going to build the new system on, and then you come out with a movie that might be about 45% Superman and 55% Justice League Origins, it's a little off-putting. And then you kind of got this weird tone. And I know there's aspects of this movie people have been debating hotly, like the whole issue of quote unquote, Superman's parents, Jor-El, being changed with the. Okay. Again, when I saw that in the theater, I said, "Ooh." I said, "Wait, but Lex Luthor did it." And then he made it a point to say, "I hired 30 different experts that all verified blood." He said like 3 times. I'm like, "Oh, this is bullshit."
Well, he said he could have done it, but it was done for him already.
Right. Well, that's true. But I'm watching this going, that's a little weird. I kind of feel like that's being set up as something that gets resolved at a later movie. I could be wrong. I'd prefer it to have been resolved in this movie, but obviously this is the start of it. And this was part of the problem of the film, was that it's like James Gunn was trying to do so many things so quickly in this movie to establish his new DC empire, right? Like we're going to lay a lot of things out on the line in this first movie, right down to getting Supergirl coming back from a sorority party at the end of the movie.
On Mars,
Talk about it. I'll pass on Supergirl, man. I saw that and I said, no, thank you. Send Alan instead. I had this premonition that Alan was the man to go see Supergirl.
Well, I mean, I'm professionally obligated to see Supergirl, but you're right. I'm tired. I'm really tired of superhero movies where it's an unlikable protagonist. And that's what you just set up, is the next movie is the unlikable protagonist.
Right. Give me Mr. Terrific, the movie. I'll go watch it. I'm happy to go watch that. And I want it to be just like what's the comedy that was out? Thunder. Guys, help me out. What?
Thunderbolts?
No, not Thunderbolts. I can't think of it now. Anyway, I want a comedy with Mr. Terrific. I can sit here and try to remember the name of the movie for 15 seconds, but why do that?
Tropic Thunder?
Tropic Thunder. Why would it not come to me?
Oh,
that's your connection to Mr. Terrific.
I want a Mr. Terrific that's like Tropic Thunder. I would eat it up. Just drop him in a jungle somewhere and let's have at it.
Yeah. I mean, what Superman what this version of Superman has done is it boldly says this is the James Gunn universe. Take it or leave it, because there's no changing it. Started with the Suicide Squad. Now we have Superman. We have a Peacemaker. This is the tone of the universe. I will say, having said that, what I liked about Superman and in this universe that James Gunn has created, there's only two normal people in the James Gunn universe, and that's Clark and Lois. That's Superman and Lois Lane. And I think that's intentional. I think that's to say that, Superman truly is the foundation of the DC universe, that he is the one who stands for virtue and goodness and justice, while everyone else is for themselves, ultimately. The whole gods and monsters thing. Everyone else believes they're either a god or a monster, but Superman is just goodness. I liked the movie. I'm interested to see how it goes forward. But at the same time, I get what people are saying.
I do too. I really do. Like I said, I just had to be honest with folks and say, hey, look, my initial reaction walking out of the theater was, it was fun. But I mean, I went and I turned my brain off to not even thinking I was watching Superman. I'm just like, let me go watch and see what this movie is. But I completely understand what everybody's saying about it in terms of their complaints. I think some of the things are explained away to one degree or another in the film. Like, I know there was a lot of complaints about how bad he was getting beat up from start to finish. That was part of the issue with this being a Justice League film more than a Superman film, because the entire story, the way it was set up, was basically relying on an ensemble team up to solve the problem. This was like the Avengers, right? We watched the Avengers when that came out. Iron Man didn't solve everything by himself. Captain America didn't solve everything by himself because it was called the Avengers. It took the ensemble. And that's what we got in this movie, even though it was called Superman. And that was part of the issue that I had with it from that perspective, is that it was more like a Justice League versus Superman for that reason. But James Gunn, I think, was obviously he was smashing the accelerator, getting this movie out and trying to cram as much into it as possible to launch this new universe. And I think there were some things here that really won for him, like introducing, as you guys just said, Mr. Terrific. A lot of people like Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. Funny as hell. I don't know if it's character accurate or not. Alan, I'm like you.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know a whole lot about DC. In fact, I don't know shit about DC. My experience from Superman, like yours, comes from the Christopher Reeves movies. That was my introduction to the character. I've had a few of the comic books. I've read some of the comic books, but I was never an avid consumer of that entire universe and storyline. So, I mean, I know a little bit about the Green Lantern Corps and all this kind of stuff. Not a lot.
Yeah.
But again, as a normie, I'm watching this going, okay, this is fun. It's just not really a Superman movie per se.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's as much a Superman movie as Superman Returns was a Superman movie. It just dispensed with the origin. You didn't need to go through the origin. Yeah, they played around with Jor-El. Regarding Jor-El, again, I don't know anything about Jor-El. I know Uncle Ben. I know if you had done to Uncle Ben what you did to Jor-El, that would be lore breaking to the core, because of the values that Uncle Ben gave to Peter. That's who he was. But I never understood Jor-El as being sort of the Jesus type that everyone is so, he's got to be good. You can't change that. And I've always seen him as this memory that Clark was given from long ago. And, and to me, and I think that was the whole point of the at least the Superman story was, what defined Superman was not the planet he came from. What defined Superman were the parents who raised him.
Yes.
And to me, I think I believe that was the intention of James Gunn's part, was to say that Superman is Superman because of Ma and Pa Kent, not because of Jor-El, and you know what, Alan, and not knowing that.
That's why James Gunn is great and awful at the same time, and he's also not like a Spielberg, right? Yeah. If you go to see a James Gunn movie, it's going to be a James Gunn movie. The absolute greatest ever. Those guys, they can step into different genres and they can make the movies be so distinctly different. Like Saving Private Ryan doesn't have to be Jurassic Park, but a James Gunn movie is a James Gunn movie is a James Gunn movie. And that's what you just said about the Kents. And I think we're fully into spoiler territory here, but that ending scene where he wants to watch his parents again,
right?
It's comforting and it brings up the Kents. That was a very touching scene.
It's a
That could have
heartwarming
been
moment.
That could have been it. But we just had Supergirl. So again, you have this very quick juxtaposition of crazy, silly James Gunn into heartfelt moment. And it's just a little bit too rubber bandy. It's just a little bit too snap, snap, snap. Here we go. Funny, serious, funny, serious. And sometimes that doesn't work quite so well for some people out in the audience. Other people love it. Some people think it's dated.
Yeah. I mean, Tim Burton is Tim Burton.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He did Batman. And Batman was a Tim Burton movie.
100%. 100%. And so we can't hold that against James Gunn.
Yeah.
But that's what the James Gunn universe is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Obviously. Go ahead.
No, I'll just say that I think the mistake we're making is we're expecting it to be a blockbuster. It's supposed to hit Avatar numbers, and I think that's where we're kind of falling apart here.
I don't know if anybody was thinking that, huh?
Yeah, I mean but that's the sense because the numbers are not good, not bad, and I think we're the sense I'm getting is that we're saying this is a failure because it wasn't great, and believe me, if you watch early episodes of the Film Threat livecast, I've said many times this movie has to hit a home run, and it didn't hit a home run. It hit I'd say it hit a double.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.